And when they investigated, oh, God. It's that old adage that we trot out regularly on the show. You need a license to hunt, to fish, to have a dog, to drive a car, to do all sorts of things, but to let any idiot be a parent. When cops investigated, they found the boy's 11-year-old disabled sister was in their hotel room, but their parents were missing. And yeah, they were missing because, well, as it turns out, their parents were out shopping at some outlet malls for Black Friday. Kid's dad is a 40-year-old guy called Toru Sakaguchi, Princeton, New Jersey. And he was arrested for endangering the welfare of a child. There's no words on whether the kid's mom was arrested too, but you can see Toru Sakaguchi of Princeton, New Jersey. You can see his mugshot online. Try and picture the type of person that seems like they'd lock their disabled child in a hotel room while they go out shopping for Black Friday sales, and then compare this guy's face to that. Curious to see if you feel like it matches up at all. So this is an interesting one. New FDA rules are going to force restaurants and theaters and grocery convenience stores that sell hot food to post a calorie count on their menu. It applies to every establishment with 20 or more locations, and it's one of the most costly regulations ever imposed on the food industry. Calorie count on everything you eat. Yeah. This is going to happen to the nation's restaurants. They're going to be burdened with the prospect of having to calculate the number of calories in everything that they serve up. Somebody has to do the math. I wonder if they're going to have a FDA fact checker being like, ooh, yeah, you know, this is listed as being 500 calories, but in fact it's 522. You're going to jail. Taxpayers' money will pay for you to be in there. The FDA has announced the new regulations. They did it last week. Get this, it even covers food in vending machines and in amusement parks, as well as, you know, those little pre-packaged salads or sandwiches or whatever that you get in supermarkets. It covers those as well. It basically applies to any kind of food establishment that has 20 or more outlets. So this means a calorie count at fast food chains like KFC and Subway and sit-down restaurants like Applebee's and the Cheesecake Factory. And yeah, the menu labeling rule was it was quietly slipped into Obamacare. They say the rule could improve people's diets because it's going to give them a better idea of how many calories they're eating. So, as if it wasn't hard enough to run a business in this country already, what with a 35% corporate tax rate? I believe it's 15%, 15 in Canada. And that's why folks like Burger King are buying Canadian chains so they can headquarter themselves in Canada and get a 20% tax break. People say it's unpatriotic. I say it's math. But yeah, basically, we're going to screw with people further that are trying to start businesses in one of the most difficult industries to succeed in. Why? Because it could improve people's diets. I don't know about you, but when I go to KFC and when I go to places like Applebee's and get the sampler plate, or when I go to the Cheesecake Factory and I get the macaroni and cheeseburger and a slice of Cheesecake Factory, the very last thing I want to know is the calorie count on what I've just consumed. All I know is that it's going to cause me to spend a good deal of time on the treadmill over the next week, and I'm fine with that. This is especially damaging to pizza companies. Why? Have a guess.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Jimmy Page to discuss why the acoustic guitar really was the foundation behind many of Led Zeppelin's albums.
It was guitar-driven. It was guitar-driven. I think that's quite apparent throughout all of this, you know, when we're revisiting and listening to this stuff. And quite surprising for a lot of people. It was also the first, 4 albums were written on acoustic. You can hear the acoustic with Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. I mean, that's very radical compared to what anybody else was doing around that sort of time. But it's acoustic. And there's acoustic on Ramble On, etc. You know, on the second album. Third album, it's the same guitar that I'm writing it on. It gets really played a lot on the third album, and it's the same guitar that plays Stairway. So you can see the acoustic guitar was quite the bed underneath this, although it's still 6 strings, and my various approaches to the electric guitar were still shown within the writing process and what was presented to the band. And okay, this is what we're doing, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Jimmy Page and all your favorite artists.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Of Monsters and Men on the differences between performing in the U.S. and Iceland.
When we were playing, shows for the first time, the people were like very open and very willing to have fun and dance and like be a part of the show. That we at first like took us off guard because like at home people are shyer. They're not gonna dance like crazy.
Yeah, they're always thinking about what the guy next to you is thinking about you.
Yeah, I also hear like people walk up to you and say like, hey, it's a great show or something.
Yeah.
I think at home people are like shyer about it.
Yeah, people are very open to like giving
compliments.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Of Monsters and Men and all of your favorite artists.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about me for a long time.
I just realized it's been a while since we've all gotten together and kumbaya'd around the fireplace that is Extreme Talk on iHeartRadio. We've been off the air for a little bit just because the workload in the other parts of my life was pretty unconscionable last week. So I was like, I got to take some time off so I can get through the mound of it. But I have to say, it's really good to be back. I also have to say, it's been so long since I've done this. I have to ask this jarringly unprofessional question. Funkhauser, is this our last segment?
This is it. You have 13 minutes, buddy.
I've got, oh, wow. Better make every last one of those 13 minutes count. Oh, God. So, yeah, new FDA rules are forcing restaurants, theaters, and grocery and convenience stores that sell hot food to post calorie counts on menus. And it applies to every establishment with 20 or more locations. It's one of the most costly regulations ever imposed on the food industry. Not just because you got to print new menus, which you do, but you got to calculate the number of calories in this stuff. I don't know about you, but like we were saying before, when I go to the Cheesecake Factory, I don't want to know when I eat a fried macaroni and cheeseburger and follow it up with a slice of cheesecake. The last thing I want to know is the amount of calories that I've consumed. After a meal like that, if I know exactly what it was that I just ate in the calorie department, I'm likely to amputate my own foot and just be like, I'm just getting out in front of type 2 diabetes. This is all going to go horribly wrong. No, I like to just hate myself quietly after having eaten too much and then just head over to the treadmill for the next week or so. You take all the fun out of being a glutton when you add information like that. But, forget us. Let's just talk about the fact that it's almost impossible to run a successful business. It's almost impossible to be an entrepreneur in this country just because the level of government interference is unconscionable. The level of taxation is through the freaking roof. That is why, we have a 35% corporate tax rate. That's a lot. That's an awful lot, especially when you consider what some of the larger corporations like Burger King make. So is it any surprise whatsoever when Burger King buys a donut chain in Canada so that they can then headquarter themselves in a country where instead of 35%, the tax rate's 15%. Yeah, 15. People say it's unpatriotic. I say it's math. But this makes it harder than ever to open up a restaurant, to be involved in any kind of entrepreneurial business that has to do with the preparation of food. Domino's say they're going to be forced to calculate, and this is the same for every pizza chain. Pizza Hut, Domino's, what are the other ones? Little Caesar. I love Little Caesar's commercials. Bite, bite, sip, sip. Do the deep dish conga mambo. So catchy. Too bad their pizza tastes like warmed up goat ass. But never mind. The quality of the warmed-up goat-ass pizza is not going to improve at all because the strain being placed on the food industry, especially the pizza industry, by something like this, is unconscionable. It's true. Domino's says they're going to be forced to calculate the calories for 34 million different combinations of pizza. Calculate the calories for 34 million different combinations of pizza. 34 million math problems have to be solved. You know the kind of man hours involved in solving 34 million math problems? I don't, because I'm not good at math, which means you have to pay somebody with a higher level of education than I am to do this, which means they're going to be making a pretty penny, which means this could cripple companies like Domino's. They say pizza is so customizable that it's literally impossible to put all the calorie information on a menu. We'll wait and see how this plays out. The regulations are supposed to take effect in a year, but doesn't look really good, does it? No, it doesn't. You know what else a lot of people say didn't look too good was when, do you watch football? Did you watch football yesterday? Did you see the St. Louis Rams? 5 Rams took the field yesterday doing the hands up, don't shoot protest gesture. Kind of picking a side in the police versus the people of Missouri situation. Now, they have every right to their opinion. They really do. But what these guys did, Tavon Austin, Stedman Bailey, Kenny Britt, Chris Givens, and Jared Cook, what they did yesterday, definitely a slap in the face of the St. Louis Police Officers Association. And the St. Louis Police Officers Association, well, I commend them for shedding light on exactly why it was a slap in the face. They put out a statement about the incident saying, now that the evidence is in, and Officer Wilson's account has been verified by physical and ballistic evidence as well as eyewitness testimony, which led the grand jury to conclude that no probable cause existed that Wilson engaged in any wrongdoing. It is unthinkable that hometown athletes would so publicly perpetuate a narrative that has been disproven over and over again. See, all week long, the Rams and the NFL were on the phone with St. Louis police, talking to the St. Louis Police Department, asking for help, asking for additional help, from tax-paid employees of the government. When, let's remember here, the NFL does not pay taxes. But all week long, the Rams and the NFL were on the phone with the St. Louis Police Department. They're asking for help. They're asking for assurance that the players and the fans would be kept safe from what was going on. Violent protesters who had rioted, looted, burned buildings. Let's bear in mind for a second that these officers who are, and let's for a moment bear in mind that, well, let's assume for one moment that a massive injustice was done. Let's assume for one moment that Darren Wilson was just a trigger-happy racist cop that was out to waste someone who wasn't the same color of skin as him. Let's assume that was true. That's a guy. And forget that he's been proven innocent. But that's one person. And it's in Ferguson. It's not in St. Louis, where the Rams play. And the officers had been working 12-hour shifts over a week. No days off. No Thanksgiving with their family. Thanksgiving canceled for cops in St. Louis. Why? To put in extra time so they could defend this community from those on the streets that are perpetuating the idea that injustice was served and that this injustice is best combated by heaving bricks through people's windows, by setting cars on fire, by further damaging the community.